Good afternoon. A deep dive into the final vault with Fifth Wheel Records, and it really is a deep dive into the dusty corners of the vault because we are going to look at compilation albums. Now, a compilation album may seem archaic or a relic of the past when most people would use their streaming service of choice to personalize playlists. Before that, we would have ripped CDs or made a mixtape. But compilation albums historically have a place and they have a lot to offer. So we are going to look at the first one that came out. That is The Rock Machine Turns You on Columbia Records. Now, this was cheap to make because all the artists were already signed, all the tracks were already recorded. So they just stuck it out, and what a lineup. Bob Dylan, Taj Mahal, Leonard Cohen, Simon and Garfunkel, The Electric Flag, Roy Harper, Tim Rose. All great tracks. And although it did sell quite a bit and it launched a series by Columbia Records, monetary profit really wasn't what it achieved. What it achieved is three pronged. For people who were into it loyalty to the label, loyalty to the artists on the label, and more importantly, encouraged the audience to actually purchase albums rather than singles, hence more profit. But the other effect of Columbia Records, the Rock Machine turns on success was an explosion of label sample records, and particularly in Britain. Nice Enough to Eat by Island Records. Again, another great album, a great lineup. Fairport Convention, uh, Mott the Hoople, Jethro Tull, Spooky 2, Traffic, Blood One Pig. But what's really great about this, there's two semi-obscure tracks on it. There is Strangely Strange but Oddly Normal, but Doctor Strangely Strange, who were a kind of pastoral folk band, put out two albums, I think. But I keep singing the same old song by Heavy Jelly, Is the Gold in These Hills. Fantastic track by a band that never really did anything after that. You can track this down cheap enough and it's worth just for that one song. Fair to Go, another classic label in the 70s. Suck it and say, terrible album title, terrible album cover. But again, an amazing lineup of artists: Black Sabbath, Rod Stewart, Status Quo, Spencer Davis, Manfred Mann, Aphrodite's Child, Jim Croce, Jade Warrior, Kraftwerk, Sensational Alex Harvey Band. I mean, Aphrodite's Child, The Four Horsemen. And unless you want to go out and buy the 666 album, this is the place to get it. But it's a great compilation album. Some obscure bands that didn't really do much after, some bands who went on to do great things. And this explosion of compilation albums went right across the board. KTEL obviously jumped on it. Their big seller, the first big seller was 20 great country hits. Rock Anthems 1 and 2, which were the first albums I ever bought. And they kept that going for a long time. Uh, Other labels, one I bought second hand. It was a promotional copy. I think I got it for 50p, but it really brought me back to my youth. It was A Quiet Night In, which is Bronze Records sampler. And this is every heavy metal fan's studio flat from the 80s and 90s. I can tell you that much. Probably the 80s more likely. But you have Motorhead, Hawkwind, Uriah Heep, Girl School, Angel Witch. That's the sort of things going on. Now, I started by saying the compilation album was an archaic thing or it could be considered a relic. And that could be true, but there's still some great ones out here. Rise Above Records, Something in the Waters, great one. You've got Uncle Acid, Blood Ceremony, Admiral Sir Cloudsy Shuffle, Cathedral, all on that. And there are some very successful compilation series. You have Soul Jazz label, which puts out their ones, particularly the reggae albums, Trojan 45s or Studio One hits. You also have, for instance, Brown Acid series, which I'll do a reel on at another stage on Riding Easy Records, where they track down obscure regional hard rock hits from the underground of the 70s. So they're still out there and they're still popular, but these 70s ones are quite collectible, not in terms of being expensive, but in terms of a snapshot of a label at the time. And I mean, where are you going to get Rod Stewart, Black Sabbath, and Status Quo on the one album, or Bob Dylan, Leonard Cohen, and Simon and Garfunkel? Highly unlikely, unless it's some dad rock compilation you buy for your on CD for a tenner. However, they're the dusty corner of the fault, and I pull them out now and then, and I play them. The track lists are usually great. So yeah, a bit of love for the compilation album. And if you like this content, like and subscribe. Fifth Wheel Records. Keep it final, keep it real.